Dear students, I am Dr. Kumar, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Government First Grade College, Shira, Tumkur District. The topic of today's lecture is control of sandfly or phlebotomine flies. This comes under paper 4, that is insect vectors and diseases, that is BSc 4th semester Zoology, Tumkur University. As far as the control of sandflies or phlebotomine flies are concerned, the first attempt to control these flies with the pesticides used about 5%, that is dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane. The first used insecticide, that is DDT, about 5% DDT is used in order to control the phlebotomine flies. But nowadays, an attention focuses on the synthetic pyrethroids. Pyrethroids have low to moderate toxicity to mammals and have high insecticide activity in order to kill the insects. The use of pyrethroids against phlebotomines was prompted by their successful utilization in the environment. Phlebotomine sandflies are susceptible to the insecticides such as pyrethroids, and residual spraying of houses and animal shelters are an effective control strategy in peri-domestic environments. Peri-domestic environments here refers to the sandflies which are present living in and around the human habitations, what is called as peri-domestic environment. The application of insecticides in outdoor and resting area is also found to be very effective. As far as bioinsecticides are concerned, the indiscriminate use of insecticides induces the insect resistance and disrupts the food chain, affecting the population density and non-target species also. This is one of the disadvantage where we go on spraying the insecticides. Now the insects become resistant to that particular insecticide. Okay, sometimes it affects the food chain in the environment and the population density also being affected. So these factors associated with the many diseases transmitted by the dipterans, that is the flies comes under the order Diptera. Personal protection is also very important. The use of protective clothing, insect repellent creams and insecticide impregnated bed sheets are effective in reducing human sandfly contact. Habitat reduction and the modification is one of the important method of controlling the sandfly. The habitat reduction or the destruction of the habitat and the modification of the habitat is one of the method where these measures such as resurfacing the walls to cover the cracks and holes, demolition and removal of uninhabited buildings and removal of the organic waste and unwanted vegetation can help to discourage sandfly breeding. This has to be done by the human beings. That is, resurfacing the walls to cover cracks. In the walls you can see ಸಣ್ಣ ಬಿರುಕುಗಳು ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಬಿರುಕುಗಳನ್ನು you had to close that the cracks. Okay, so where usually the sand flies lives, the small cracks and holes which are present in the walls, that has to be closed. And demolition and removal of uninhabited buildings. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮನೆಗಳಿದ್ದು ಆ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೂ ವಾಸ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಆ ಮನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಡೆಮಾಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಹಾಗೆ ದ ರಿಮೂವಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅನ್ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಷನ್, ಡೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಕೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್, ತಿಪ್ಪೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಅನ್ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ದೂರ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕರೇಜಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫ್ಲೈ ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್ of the reservoir host. The reservoir control is another important step where the animals such as dogs and rodents acts as reservoirs for this the phlebotomine flies. The host reservoir host for this disease, the infected host can be killed in order to reduce the disease transmission risk. So usually the infected animals which act as the reservoirs, such as dogs and rodents, the mice, rats, squirrels, okay, so these organisms, animals, has to be killed in order to minimize the disease transmission. Okay, and at the same time deltamethrin impregnated nets, blankets are effective for preventing the sandfly bites at houses. Biological control is one of the important method where the Bacillus spiricus have been shown to reduce the survival and fecundity of the phlebotomine sandflies. So these actually the Bacillus spiricus, okay, so this has shown to reduce the survivability and the fecundity. The fecundity of the phlebotomine flies has to be reduced. So this Bacillus bacteria is applied to sugar solutions which can be used at a sandfly habitat, so that the fecundity, further development, egg laying capacity and the survival of these organisms, sandflies, has to be minimized by using this Bacillus spiricus, the bacterium. Okay, this Bacillus spiricus bacterium can be kept in the areas where the sandflies are more, and by using a sugar solution along with this bacteria, we can keep in that area, so that the sandflies which feeds on this the bacterium along with the sugar solution, they are usually killed. So this is all about how to control the sandflies. These are the reference material along with the link. Dear students, this is the time of COVID-19 pandemic. Second wave is being operating now. Take precautions, don't go outside, wash your hands frequently with soap and sanitizer, wear face covering or the mask, maintain the physical distancing. Maintain physical distancing at least 2 meters between the individuals. Stay home, stay safe, save lives. Thank you.